Welcome to the Judgment Free Lounge. Here's your t-shirt, here's your membership card.
Detective Hope Braid.
Something happened to you 18 years ago. That's when you were brought here.
This fall marks the 3rd anniversary of the soap opera By Way of Today. Not that they're counting.
Or 7 or 8, 9, depending on how you want to number it.
Counting numbers, it's more of a feeling.
In a time when if the soaps are in the news, it's most likely due to disaster, or worse, cancellation. It must be asked, is there life left in this dying form?
Soap operas can't die, per se. There's breaks, but death just is a foreign concept. You know, take All My Children. All My Children aired its last episode in 2013, but Aiden is still here. He's here, he's over there, he's here. He's all around us.
Back then he was going by Scott on All My Children. Scott Chandler, the 3rd one, I think.
3.
And what do you mean by here?
Well, this is his place. We're in Aiden and Hope's living room right now.
It's a work in progress, as you can see.
Yeah, Aiden too.
Hmm?
Well, with him being reprogrammed. Not Aiden, but Dario.
Dario.
being
Yeah,
programmed
Dario's
as
Aiden now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dario?
I don't want there to be any chance of us being seen together. I'm going to drive over to the park.
We have a very specific brand that extends to our color choices.
It's confusing.
Hello.
You don't know what's going on.
Hey, can't find the key. Did you leave it here?
Seeing as though a typical soap opera churns out 250 episodes per year on average, where does one even begin?
Before the doctor comes in.
How long have I been down?
Like vanished.
Well, he left a note. He was not very helpful, but he did say that he had moved on.
Yeah.
He left his keys here. Well, actually, they're more about over here, and then well, you don't need to know this, but now they go here.
The keys are in. The receptionist is gone. Yeah, like disappeared.
I don't know if I can keep this up.
It was clear I had some catching up to do.
Look, it's not really about catching up.
We're always catching up, though.
Yeah, being in the moment, being present.
That's catching up.
Yeah, all of living is basically catching up.
Yeah. Right now, catching up.
Yeah. That and our characters are pretty much always recapping what you need to know.
Yeah, we have a good crew of writers. They make it pretty easy to follow. What we try and do is make every episode a first episode.
Every episode's a first episode. Elaborate on that.
To put it simply, our fans could be broken down into 2 different categories. So on one hand, you have the die-hard fans, right? On the other, the uninitiated skeptics. So the show has to work equally well for both groups.
Do you
every
write
time.
for both demographics?
No, at this point I think it's just inbuilt into the show. It's not something that we think about. A soap opera is like a rock. So once you have that rock, you take the rock to the top of the hill, and all you have to do is give it a little nudge. That's the first episode right there.
But the hardest part, though, is in making the rock, because rocks take thousands of years to make.
Yeah. Well, nobody really knows how long it takes to make a rock, because nobody has been alive that long.
Yeah. But it's also not just us. There's gravity.
Yeah, sometimes the rock is just going off in another direction, and you have to just yell at somebody, like, look out, the rock's
coming.
The rock is going over there. Sometimes we don't know where the rock is going. So, you know, in that way, like, gravity is our friend.
It's the only way, Aiden. You have to kill Hope with the dagger Clyde used to stab Sonny.
Feeling lost? Well, you're not alone. The characters on By Way of Today are impossible to pin down. They're adrift in what soap opera insiders call a continuous open narrative. Whether it's a kidnapped Dario being reprogrammed as Aiden Jennings, or bad boy painter Julian Vendrell raised from the dead, anything is possible and nothing is permanent. There's clearly a lot going on, as you've said. Do you think your viewers find it frustrating or difficult?
Yeah, I think this is true to life, though. Life has twists and turns and dead ends, and I think people like seeing that play out on the screen. I think it rings true to them. And we have to remind ourselves that that needs to happen. As producers, as writers, as whatever, we can't control everything. We have to allow for the unplanned things to be a part of the show.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning that a certain amount of frustration or even dysfunction is necessary, for the show. It gives fans something to rally around, even if that's about expressing their disappointment in what's happening. Take Doris, for example. Her disappearing was not a decision made because we thought fans would like it.
Right. Fans hated that decision.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah, this is it. This is where we get it done.
And here is where the producers of By Way of Today come up with all the love triangles, backstabbings, affairs, abductions, evil villains, and more shocking twists than we can count. It may look like a college dorm room to you, but for them, more often than not, it's home. So I want to ask a pretty basic question. Why a soap opera?
Yeah, time. In a way, every soap opera is its own fountain of youth.
Which is a very different ecosystem from something like a lake or a river.
Yeah, that's true. But it's more than that, too. It's time and it's money. So soap operas have so much of each that they virtually disappear from the world. It's sort of like water for fish. It's so ubiquitous that you can't even point to it. Take Paul, for example. Is Paul a baseball player? Is he a model? Is he a private detective? Or Chase, Aiden's son. Today he's 8 years old, but tomorrow he could be graduating high school. And I mean that literally. So those details aren't important, and that's kind of what's important about it.
Yeah, and I guess you only see Marlena in her job as a psychiatrist when someone in her family needs to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
Did you catch yesterday's episode?
No.
Mm.
No, I missed it.
I won't spoil it for you. It's good, though. Still available online for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll see if I have the time.
Yeah, well, you have whatever time you can make. It's another of our mottos, right?
You make your own time.
Make your own time. Make the time you need.
Mm-hmm.
Time is whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else tell you what time is or is not. Just decide.
Yeah.
Decide and then
Use it.
go forward. You don't even have to go forward. Time moves in all the directions.
Roll. You can roll through it.
Rolling time. That's one of
And
our-
it's like when you roll down a hill, usually you kind of go like, yeah.
Does that make sense?
It kind of, yes and no, I would say.
I don't know if I understand it myself.
I don't know.
You still have coffee from this morning?
I never let it go empty.
I thought that place closed.
Still going. Not recommended for coffee,
Yeah,
if you like coffee, but
they're still working out some kinks. Should we go to the casino?
I think it might help clarify what we were talking about earlier.
So they took me to a casino. They never really explained why, but I went along with it. We walked, we talked. I noted the pervasive haze of cigarette smoke, the patterns in the carpet, the lack of windows, and of clocks. And this is where we parted ways. There was a quiet melodrama to it all that somehow made sense. I felt oddly content, like I'd been here before. And seeing as how I now had some time on my hands, I decided to try my luck at the roulette table.